Just over the years, when you post on Facebook, I would hope to have been at a certain place in my life, in my career. Why don't more people see it?
I have just now gotten accustomed to letting life show me what my new definition of success is. It's all about being comfortable with uncomfortable.
Oh my God, that's her. You got a whole voice box here. You need to save it. You need nothing else with your voice right now. Nothing else. Nope.
That's a different episode.
Welcome to Invite Only with Jovan Landry. This ain't your typical podcast. Here, I bring my friends, artists, and fellow peers into my space and talk about topics that matter to you, whether it be navigating being an artist, relationships, entrepreneurship, and so much more. You ready to join the conversation? Go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel right now and catch the latest conversations. What it do, y'all? It's Jovan Landry, the 1/3 filmmaker, 1/3 photographer, and 1/3 MC, back again with another video. I have an amazing special guest. And we got Bree here too. If you see her, you know she's making a special appearance.
Yes.
So today I have one of my greatest friends and collaborators for the last
Count
12 years.
You gotta count them. You run out of fingers.
Since 2012, we're out of fingers.
Yes, literally. Yes. It has literally been 12 years.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Which is amazing. How
amazing.
many friends y'all know that you've been friends for over 10 years?
For real.
That's love.
They can send to it.
The Swiss Army knife. Okay. Let me say that again. The musical Swiss
The
Army
music was
knife.
swift.
Yes, and swift. You know, producer, songwriter, singer, writer. Did I say songwriter? Producer.
Yeah.
Flautist.
Yeah.
Pianist.
All the
and
things.
so many things. Content creator. This
Thank you.
is Be Free, y'all.
I'm like, who am I looking at? There you go.
Hey.
Hey guys.
Yes. So before we get into the conversation,
Yes,
because
yes.
we're going to be talking about success and talking about age and what that means when, if you're at a certain age where you should be.
And this is fun. I think it's funny that you brought this topic up because these are conversations that you and I have had, period. You know, without a camera being involved, without a theme or, content, because we've literally gone through the matriculation of growing artists. We both are multifaceted people. And I think it's really interesting to see where our thoughts are now in comparison to where when we first started talking about these things. Too.
Right.
So yes, I'm excited to dive into. So
Yeah.
thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So just give the people who don't know just a little bit about yourself. We know you're a musician, you're an artist,
right.
a creative.
Yes.
But just where you started, how you got started, your inspirations, where you at now, all of that.
It started in the womb, honestly, because I come from a musical family. My family was actually started here. I was born in Chicago, where we're filming right now. Get into it, yeah. My parents were in a band. They raised me and my sisters, 3 of us. I'm the oldest, all just in a very creative and musically functioning and diverse household. It was something that I was drawn to immediately. So I knew that that's what I wanted to spend my life path on. Studied it all throughout school. I went to the Milwaukee High School of the Arts. And also I have a BA and a BA and MD. I got degrees in music and performance and in education. And that's actually how we ended up crossing paths because I was back in Chicago in grad school, and that's when I actually released my first album in 2012. And I met a friend of ours in the Dwelle concert in the bathroom.
Still hugging.
Shout out to Jessica.
J-E-H.
Listen. And she told me that she filmed or was like a producer or something, and she gave me her card. And when I finally decided to do this and make it a thing, that's how you came into the picture.
Yeah.
And we have literally just been like a thing ever since. But especially us, because we've continued to work on just about all of my music videos.
Brought to you by Von Monique Leslie Productions.
It's J. Leslie Monique.
That's what I said. She said Jovan Monáe.
Major pieces of like important like content and concerts and all my major life events you've literally been a part of. You filmed my wedding. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So yeah, if it's like super important, I know to call you.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the stuff you said, like all the music I've put out, I've produced myself, self-taught, Logic Pro. I love the content creation aspect of things too, and a lot of tips that we've done, I've watched you do and learned from you, I've picked up and put into that. So I'm pretty much a general Renaissance woman, anything you can think of. But it all is very much rooted in music and all of those facets. And I am here and destined to be the next Moesha.
Moesha.
Yes. It's me. It's me.
Right, you got the bun too, just like her.
That's pretty much it. I think that gives a nice little, oh, and I play flute. That's important.
And piano.
I'll play flute. I do all the things, but flute is definitely my primary instrument next to voice and piano. Flute. I have a flute named Lucille, named after the episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. If you have to ask which one, you're too young for this one video. So,
Jeffrey? Break out, Lucille.
That's it.
And you do scores as well.
I do, yes.
Yep.
Oh my God,
you
Listen to me forgetting things I done done.
Talk your talk.
Yeah, I actually just composed an entire score for a play last year in Milwaukee. Shout out to Nicole Acosta. It was called Hoops. And it was a world premiere play at the Milwaukee Chamber Theater. And it was a play based on her photo series about hoop earrings and the cultural relevance of it and the women who wear them and the people who wear them. And I got to score music for all the different stories that went along with that. And it was very, very 90s oriented, very, very hip hop and R&B and very, very dope.
Yes. And that's just the tip of the iceberg of all that she does.
Listen, we got to find a Titanic.
Right, exactly. Yes. And this is an interruption brought by Jovan Landry to go and comment, like, subscribe. And it's just amazing because it's a full circle moment because even before we officially met, I saw you play with Lily K.
Yes.
Doing background vocals.
At Columbia College. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Chicago. Just keeping all these creatives connected in some capacity. I really love it.
Yep. So it's just amazing how we just got here today.
Yeah, today. Here, today.
That's our insider, y'all.
They gonna learn. They gonna learn.
All right, so let's get into the conversation because I've seen just over the years when you post on Facebook, I'll see things like, I would hope to have been at a certain place in my life, in my career, because I'm dope. Like, why don't more people see it? And so I just want to dig into that because I know sometimes we have that expectation, either from our parents and just society, that at a certain part of our life, we have to be in a certain space. And especially with music and especially with artistry, we get that whole like, this is not a real job type of thing.
Listen.
Or if, people's only idea of music and just being an artist is that you got to be on TV and be famous. You got to be traveling worldwide and stuff. But there's also a different way of doing it. Like there's people that may not be famous per se, but they are winning Grammys, there's a lot of success that's not being shown on TV. And so I just want to know, like, just from your perspective, how do you feel in the space right now as a creative? I
feel in this space and time today. I ain't even playing that. I feel in this space and time today, I have just now gotten accustomed to letting life show me what my new definition of success is. Because I very much, and you probably as well, we were reared in a millennial age where it's very unique because we saw the old way, or the traditional way, if you will, of how people were defined as successful in the music. Like if you got signed, if you followed this path, if you stayed on practicing and doing this and XYZ, then suddenly you would just eventually get scooped up and, be put onward to the path of doing this for a living. But unfortunately, and fortunately, I guess, because we also kind of had to morph into a bit of a DIY age, which necessarily I don't think was by choice. We just kind of didn't have any other routes because we were doing the things that they told us, and by they, I mean like society and the industry. Like, we did all the things they told us to do, but for every single person, that wasn't necessarily what happened for them. So when that happens, we don't necessarily want to just stop. You know, like, we've built something where we've invested into something. I still know what it is that I was destined to do. I know I was born to be a creative. I know that music is my strongest outlet. So am I just gonna not do anything with it? No. So we we birthed all this DIY stuff, honestly, the millennials.
Right.
Because we had to figure out another way to make something shake. Right. You know? And I think that my growing frustration over the years with that, I didn't know how to deal with it. And especially as I was getting further and further into my, almost 30, the age is coming, because along with the millennial American dream of music, there's also the general American dream in life, where we're all reared by society to think, okay, you're supposed to go to school, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to have a house, get married, blah, blah, blah. All these things by these certain ages and milestones. And that is just literally not how life worked for anything in our generation and any younger than that. We were the age that kind of was at that capstone where that just doesn't work anymore, especially with the way that, the economy and world be worlding. So I personally think the American dream and the musical American dream go hand in hand, because we were all taught to follow a certain route, but nobody really knew what to do when we got to those checkpoints, and the success or the results that they told us, they promised we would have, weren't necessarily there. So I think now I'm just like, finally just like, well, I have different things that I can look at to measure my growth. Like, I may not be where young Britney or young B thought that she was going to be by 30 something. But think about all the other things that you have been able to do that young Barb didn't even think she was going to need to do or know how. I don't think young B thought about producing for herself. I don't think she thought about making every single thing. I'm glad she does, because she's a Virgo. She needs to have that creative control. I think though that it's all about being comfortable with uncomfortable. It's a continuing process, and me just trying to expand my emotional and mental flexibility to just see whatever this new path towards my new checkpoints or whatever that is looks like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was a long-winded way of saying I'm going with the flow.
Right. Exactly.
I'm trying my best
You're doing
to go
great.
with the flow. Thank you. Like what?
Yeah. Well, two things. What you were saying with like young B, it kind of reminds me of that content that you made with the little B.
Yeah.
I'm like,
oh my god, this is too raw. I think y'all talking to me with no feature. Like, you like me, but like big me, but like kind of big, but not too big, a little bit big, but bigger than me, but whatever. I'm so excited. Oh my god. Okay, I got a whole bunch of questions. I got my diary here, so please tell me if we became a famous singer like Brandy yet.
Ooh. Singer, yes. Musician, all around. That flute you just started playing this year, keep at it. It's going to turn out great. Famous, not quite in the way we want to be yet, but we are working on it every single day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, hold on, because I know we got signed to a record label so we can make music and marry Cisco, right? No? This is not exciting anymore.
Whoa, okay. So, as you get older, you're going to find out that sometimes things don't work out the way that you think they're going to, but that's totally fine, because you're going to figure out a way to do it anyway. We are a multifaceted artist.
Wait, I gotta do timetables and things?
No, I just mean like you have a lot of different creative talents, and you can do them all. Don't let anybody tell you can't because of your gender, your age, time, nothing. And because you can produce, and because you make your own music, you are never going to have to depend on anybody for anything or any beat ever. Matter of fact, we even produced this song that's playing right now.
Oh, okay. Holla. Let me hear.
Yeah.
I produce my own shit.
Did mommy and daddy know you said a bad word?
Girl, please, you gonna say a whole lot of words in there. Give it a few years.
Oh, that came from a real place, okay? Because I actually, part of me felt like, what would she had thought of? Like, what are the things that she did think was gonna happen? Like, she did think she was gonna marry Cisco. Like, she thought, I am a Nickelodeon star that was destined to be birthed without all the weirdness. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've always been that. I've always been on that. So I think that was just a fun way for me to be like, okay, well, let me reset your expectations because this is the world we actually live in now. But don't lose that zeal.
Exactly.
Try not to lose that zeal, girl.
Yes. And the second part of that is what you were saying about what we thought fame or success looks like in the industry. Because at one point, I didn't even know I could be a rapper or I could produce music.
How about that?
Because
or the videos.
Yeah, because all I saw was just the mainstream stuff.
Yeah.
Like if it wasn't for my cousin Chris, I wouldn't have known about Fruity Loops and I can just buy the equipment and make it myself and be independent if I wanted to be independent.
Yeah.
Because my only thought was, you got to get signed and in order to even do it. But I'm like, they have to get somewhere too to even get there.
Exactly.
But going into that, coming up into doing music like in the 2000s, that's when technology was changing. And we didn't realize we could do this on our own and to find success in that way as well. So
we were on the cusp. We were the cusp generation where the transition from the old was slowly becoming the new. It's not even just with music, like in life. Like think about the fact that I got here with a GPS. Where back then we would have had to use like MapQuest to print out the directions or just know what you're doing and say good luck.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like,
no Uber.
All that's the same. I watch like R&B Money podcast with Tank and everybody, and they talk about how crazy it is to think about the way that they used to have to record music and how everything now is just so accessible.
Right.
So I'm grateful and very much grateful in that regard. And that helps us to come to terms with how we're redefining what success looks like. It's like because we're really playing a different game than what our previous peers were or our successors were. So that's I think. But you're right. Like, dang, like you really, if it wasn't for Chris introducing you to that, like what path would you be on now? Especially if things didn't change, if they weren't able to shift in towards our favor. So
exactly. I probably just would have been watching from the side or maybe eventually I probably would have gotten there, but I
probably just would have been a hip hop lounge singer.
Yeah.
Make the music with your mouth is. Oh my God, that hurt.
Right. See, you got a whole voice box here. You need to save it.
Listen.
You don't need nothing else with your voice right now. Nothing else.
No, that's a different episode for a different day.
Right.
Oh my God. But okay. All right, we're done.
Today. What would you tell like an aspiring artist as far as like what they can do to get heard, seen in this day and time?
It's funny because my primary work, aside from because I consider myself to have 2 full-time jobs, because being a creative, being a musician is full-time work, especially if you work on it all day, every day, when you're not doing your day job. But I also have a day job as a music educator, as a program director, and I run a program in Milwaukee called Great Service Music Lab. Get into it, But I talk to young kids all the time. And it's part of my job with the people we bring in, with the guests that they're watching, to show them what that looks like from that point. Like, what would 17-year-old me would have appreciated knowing, to kind of help get me on the right path and mindset, instead of getting caught up in the hamster wheel of, I'm not doing this, or this doesn't look like this person's, or I thought that's what I had to do. Like, so I try to really, really impede upon them that time is literally a fallacy. Time is literally a fallacy. I know that it can be helpful and it's important to measure things, but also be important enough to know that it's not here to work against us as far as what we're doing with this. So I don't think that anybody should feel like, I should have done this by now, or I'm too old to try that. There are people that are just getting into like dance, and starting whole flourishing careers in their 40s and 50s and 60s. I'm like, why should that be any different from music? Mm-hmm. Why is music the only caveat where we're given like a age gap? I don't like the fact that people consider like rappers who are in their 30s to be aged out, you know, or people that it happened. Yeah, I know exactly right. And when you think about the fact that the emotional maturity that comes with where we are now, we wouldn't have had that at 17. So I tell these kids or anybody, take your time, take it and but use it to get to know yourself, use it to understand what your point of view is, what message or what idea or what purpose, what is it that you're trying to put into whatever it is that you're creating. Even if it's not, it don't have to be deep. You ain't got to be out here, you know what I'm saying, on some like, you ain't got to be like message music. It don't have to be that if that's not your bag. But you still should take the time to understand what it is that you're trying to do and say. And then take advantage of the community, take advantage of the people around you that support it, that do the same things, ask questions, but also take advantage of the free resources. There is literally nothing in this world that we can now learn how to do without the aid of YouTube that it has become. Like, and YouTube was just really picking up when we were in school, you know what I'm saying? But I can probably get a law degree by the end of this damn conversation. You know what I'm saying? If I find the right YouTube playlist, like, it's crazy. So take advantage of that and try to look at personal goals of measurement and use that as your markers for success. You know, it's fine to dream big. I still dream big. I don't think there's anything wrong with me admitting out loud that I still very much desire to be famous. I do very much want to be Moesha one day, but I also need to stay grounded in whatever my personal marks are, because those are the things that I know that I can achieve and strive for while I'm still trying to chase after the big thing.
Right, exactly. Well, thank you so much, B. You just dropping gems out here.
Picking them up, and Bree is eating them too.
Yeah, exactly. Literally. Catch this gem, y'all.
Yeah, man, this honestly, there needs to be a part 2.
Yes.
I feel like this conversation, it definitely is ongoing, because I know that we look so very together and confident right now, but by the end of the month, we might change our mind.
Right.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
That is okay. You can have this mindset and it be something that you just have to rebuild yourself back up to and you know, replenish. We all get down. Like we have these conversations and thoughts with ourselves internally, externally, every day. There's nothing wrong with that. You're human, you know, but saying it out loud, and connecting with your fellow creatives to know that you're not the only ones feeling these things. And who knows, you might have an idea from you, both of you having that same vice. And you're like, okay, what can we do to get us past this hump or this hurdle for you that can help both of us? You never know.
Exactly.
And that's why community is always going to be important in that regard too.
Boom.
Listen.
Yes.
I love the fact that I'm still friends with you too. And I have other friends. Obviously, our childhood friends and everything, but I'm like, the fact that our relationship started through a creative endeavor. Like it was birthed from our creativity. I think that's why one of the reasons why this is one of my most organic and favorite friendships and relationships as well, because we literally understand what the other is. You know what I mean? Because that's how we came together. Yes. So there's never any like, I don't know where you're coming from. Like, there's always room for expansion and collaboration and creativity. And I love it. Those are my favorite creatives, are my favorite people to surround myself with. Yeah. So the fact that this is like the literal genesis, the nucleus of what it is that we do and who we are, I think is awesome. Which is why you was also featured on that EP.
Come on, talk about it.
Oh, she scared me. I had my eyes closed to do this and I felt the wetness.
Ain't never been a 2 or 3. It's a whole lot of them, but it's only one free. I produce my own shit, shit. Oh, I produce my own shit,
I produce my own shit.
Come on.
Is the name of a song, an EP, and a movement that I had created. And my remix EP I dropped this past spring is featuring a remix from none other than I produce my own shit.
My own shit. Oh, I produce my own shit. So you can
listen. You can hear my original song, you can hear my remix, and you can hear a very, very special remix from the one and only Jovan Landry.
Yeah.
Which I think was done in here.
It was done in here.
Oh my goodness, look at this.
I know.
Look, think about that. Tell the young people that. Like, you don't need to get to a studio. If you learn how to do it, you can do it all internally and make your art when you want to, how you want to.
Exactly. On your own time. Come on, get into it. Yeah, Bree. Oops, sorry, Bree. Yeah. So where can the folks follow you and stay connected and what you got going on?
You can follow me every single place. My website, socials, is all the same handle. It is Be Free to Music. Let it be word free. Number 2, music. Yes. So that you can, even if you type that on Google, you're going to see a picture of me like this.
Yes.
I bet you.
Right. I'm going to find screenshots.
But yeah, follow me there. Shows. I just got done opening up for Moonchild, which was super awesome. And things just randomly pop up, whether it's me in a video, a show, content. I have a lot of content on my socials, funny, music-wise, anecdotes, anything. Just come check it out and keep up with your girl.
Yeah. And you know what your girl.
I know it ain't Jovan Landry.
Yes. Look at Bree just like, what's going on?
Really? Are we really doing that?
Yes.
That's what we're doing. Okay.
Yes. Thank you so much for being here. And maybe stay tuned for part 2.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll be back after these messages today. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Yeah. Look, I like the way